Weapon usage in Perfect Dark is a pretty broad and important topic, second only to movement, but it's also something you must use in combination with your movement effectively. An example would be reloading your gun before you get into a room. It's important to learn the different weapon functions, damage rates, and fire rates of different weapons, and also how to aim those weapons. Some good places to practice your aiming and learn about the weapons is the weapon range. This will let you test out each of the weapons and test out their secondary fire rates and also get proficient with them in terms of aiming. Multiplayer is also a really good place to test out different weapons against enemies with shields, there's some really cool weapons in the game, so it's a good thing to just try to learn all you can about the different weapons. They're pretty cool. One good thing to know is with remote mines, you can press A and B together to detonate them rather than switching to your secondary function. That's a pretty simple thing. It's important to practice reloading before entering rooms. A good level to practice this on is extraction. Extraction has a lot of enemies, and in order to move through it quickly, you really need to manage your health well and reload at the correct time so that you don't end up running into a room without having reloaded. So that's all I'm gonna say for now. I'm gonna go over some reloading options and the pause menu a little bit on console. Perfect Dark is a little bit difficult to reload if you just use the standard reload on every gun. It's pretty quick with the Falcon too, but for some guns it's quite large, the time that it takes to reload. And there's a trick that will help you to reload faster in just about every instance. There are some guns this doesn't work with, like the laptop gun it will be slower with, and it won't work with using the shotgun or the crossbow, notably. So when you want to reload, instead of pressing B, you press A to put your weapon away, and then you press A plus Z, and that returns you to the last weapon you switched off of. And this automatically reloads your gun. So now I have 8 shots. So I have 5 shots now. Some mistakes that you can make with this isn't the easiest thing to do, especially with some guns. While you're in the animation of putting it away, you should press A plus Z. If you press A again while you're doing that, it'll actually switch your weapon, and you will not have reloaded. You'll actually have switched off to a different weapon that you didn't want to use. So it's important that you do A, then A plus Z as the gun's going away only once. I know that's something I had problems with. So the other way that is commonly used in speedruns to switch weapons is to press start. Pressing start is something in the in-game timer. It doesn't cost any time other than the time it takes to bring your character back up to speed. So if you're not moving, pausing doesn't really cause you any time, and that will just allow you to switch your weapons without pressing anything to reset. And this is a good thing to do when you're feeling a little bit panicked, when you're slow on time, and it doesn't take any more time than it would just to switch off of your weapon and then back onto it. To do the same trick except with a pause, what you do is you press pause and you select another gun, and then without even unpausing you just select the gun again, and then it'll come up as re-equipping that weapon and you'll get full ammo, except for the guns where that doesn't work. Pausing also has a very interesting thing. While you're doing that, if you pause and then repause as the gun is being taken out, if you select the gun again, you'll do what's called a quick draw. Quick draws are used in several instances in speedrunning where you have to do a quick draw. A good instance of this is the start of G5 Agent speedruns. There's many times when you just need to get your gun out faster, and this is the best way to do it. So to review that, what I do is I select a different gun or unarmed, and then select my gun to do the to reselect my weapon, and I'm going to pause buffer until I see the blue cyan flash from when I re-equip a weapon. You see kind of like a blue cyan flash when you on the ammo bar, and as soon as you see that flash, you can do a quick draw, and that saves you a couple frames to it's not that important on most times, but see the yellow cyan just came up, or sorry, the cyan, the blue, light blue flash just came up with my ammo, and then I'm going to press A on my gun again, and it'll come out a little bit quicker than it normally does. So that's quick drawing. Pausing can also be used to just buffer your aim with weapons by just allowing it to advance a single frame and holding. This can be useful when you have very little time to adjust your aim and you just want to waste as little time aiming as possible. See if I can show an example of that here. So this guy's around the corner here, and I want to sneak up, and I ran past him, so I need to buffer my aim so that I can shoot him without him shooting me first. Obviously that could have been done a lot better, but it kind of shows you that instead of twirling around in some spaces, you can just pause and get your bearing about you, and then just kind of adjust your aim a little bit. It's best to use just very light adjustments. I used very heavy adjustments there, and it kind of drew my aim off of my target. One very important thing about the disarm in this game the unarmed punch is not very useful, but if you hit them from behind, they will actually be knocked out if you hit them from behind with a disarm strike. So disarm is used a lot in the speedrun, and it disarms them, and it's very powerful as well. Like, it won't deal that much damage, but it deals a lot more damage than just punching, and it also disarms them. So you're going to want to use disarmed anytime you're using unarmed. This will be used multiple times in speedruns when you want to go through a section and you want the guards to be unarmed so that they're not shooting at you and taking out your health. Now I can just kind of run around here. After you've disarmed guards, they kind of just run around. They're not really great. Their AI doesn't really know what to do. So either they'll surrender, or if you're not posing a direct threat, they'll just kind of run around aimlessly. And again, if you hit them from behind, they get knocked out. This is a very useful thing in this mission here. You just kind of disarm her, take her necklace, and you don't kill her. That or the pistol whip on the Falcon 2 is the intended manner on beating this. So aiming weapons and reloading weapons is extremely important to get good at. Practice A plus Z. practice pause buffering a little bit. Pause buffering is an extremely important part about speedrunning this game, as far as I can tell. It's very useful for the quick draw mechanic, and it's also useful just for switching weapons and getting, like, calming down. Sometimes in IL runs you just need a break, or individual level runs, you just need a break. So pause can be a great way to just not use any in-game time and collect yourself before going back to do something that you've been having difficulty with. That's going to be it for this tutorial. Thank you all for watching, and take care.